So we're talking about this Joe B. Rob Saleh relationship and the texting that goes back and forth and how we thought it was not a good idea for Joe to be sharing some of these messages, especially if they were misinterpreted. So Joe Benigno is joining us now to give us his side of the story. Bro.
So my side of the story. Well, where are you? Because I don't know. All I know is I'm getting text from guy.
Where are we? We're at WFAN doing the morning show.
We're doing what you did yesterday. We're basically going over what you did yesterday and how you just basically blowtorched your buddy Rob Saleh.
Well, I don't know if I blowtorched.
You blowtorched him. No, you 100% blowtorched him.
Okay, if that's what you want to say.
Right. That's what I believe.
First of all, total misinterpretation by me of what he said. Okay. I was wrong about that. What basically he was saying was, all this time you've been killing Zach, and you want him benched, and now you wanted me to play him. Okay, so that's basically what it was. So, I was wrong about that. Totally misinterpreted it. That he didn't like Zach. That's my bad, my fault, and that's the story. So.
Yeah, and that's what.
Now you know how it feels to be a Jet head coach because you're getting hammered out there because you basically misinterpreted everything he told you in private.
Well, look, I wouldn't call me hammering him. Okay, you think I'm sitting there hammering him? Is that what I'm doing?
Well, no. I think what it comes down to is that there's a difference between hammering a guy and saying that he's a bad coach and then putting stuff like this out here. I think the blowtorching that Boomer is referring to is the fact that, one, you're sharing text messages that you've had with Rob Saleh when they're at the lowest point of the season on the air at WFAN. That's one. And two, you're now giving out an opinion that you thought Rob Saleh had that he didn't have. Right. Like, if you're Rob Saleh, you're like, what in the effing hell is going on here?
Well, look, I was wrong. I admit it. I'm on here talking to you now telling you that. So, I don't know. I don't know what else you want me to say about it.
Well, no, I'm glad that you called up and have told us that side, because I actually said prior to that I do think you had misinterpreted what Rob was saying. But, first off, let's say you were right about what Rob was saying.
Okay.
To put that out there, don't you think that paints him in a horrible corner?
Look, it was a bad job by me. I'm not going to say it any other way. Shouldn't have done it. I certainly didn't think that I was, throwing him under the bus. I'll say that. But either way you want to interpret it. But
Joe, hold on. Joe, listen.
I was wrong about it. I am fortunate enough to be able to go back and forth with him on a regular basis.
All right, hold on, Joe. Let's go back. When you say you don't think you're throwing him under the bus, now, let's just say, as me back in the day, I'm producing Joe and Evan.
Right.
And you loved Evan every single minute that you worked together. But let's just say one day you told me you didn't like Evan.
Right.
And then I had an overnight show. Mm-hmm. And I just said, I'm going to tell you right now, Joe doesn't like Evan.
Right.
Is that throwing you under the bus?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what you did to Rob Saleh yesterday. That's my point.
All right. Well, then, what do you want me to say? If you said that I'm not going to defend, I defended myself in the way that I have to. What else do you want me to say?
Okay, all right, I understand. It sounds like
shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
He certainly, look, I don't know what his real relationship is with Zach. I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not in the locker room. I have no idea. But I completely misinterpreted what he said. Because for months, because I got to be honest, for a long time I've been saying, you got to play somebody else, right? And after we saw somebody else get play, we realized that these other two guys make Wilson look like he's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and forget about now the misinterpretation part of it, because you've made it clear that you were wrong about that. But just how about you've developed this nice relationship with the head coach. Mm-hmm. You guys text back and forth. You went golfing together with Terry.
Yep.
Has there been any sort of ground rules that have been established in this relationship of, Joe, this is off the record, this is not off the record, I would like you to say this, not say that? Mm-hmm. Because everybody in this business has a relationship with somebody somewhere where they could do this all the time, but it doesn't generally come out the way that your stuff from Rob Saleh comes out.
Yeah. Well, look, as far as ground rule, have we sat down and said, look, you can't say this, you can't say that? There's never been any kind of, Those words have never been used. Let's put it that way.
Okay. All right. And
Absolutely not.
I'm sure you heard from him yesterday. Well, actually, don't even tell me if you did, because I don't even want to know anymore. I can't sit here and say don't share text messages and then ask you about.
You don't want to know. Good.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. So do you? All I'll say is this: do you think, or the last question I have at least is, Boomer wants to ask something.
Yeah.
Do you think that you're going to have any communication with him going forward now about the team after what happened yesterday?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you'll probably have plenty of time to do that on the golf course because he's going to be out of a job.
Well, I don't think I disagree with that.
Well, of course you do. I'm just telling you. You just outed him yesterday.
Well, how is it? Well,
I mean, like if you're the owner of the Jets and your head coach is dealing with a guy who's screaming on the radio and divulging that he texts with him every day, how does that make you feel if you are the owner of the New York Jets?
But wait a minute. You say I outed him? I mean, outed him how?
Joe, I just gave you the example of if it were you, because you were a public figure, not as big as Rob Saleh, but you were a public figure. And if you had told me something and we were friendly and I went on the air and
I'm just telling you that I misinterpreted completely.
No, that's not the point. Let's just say you did interpret it right. Let's say, for example, just for a hype.
I get it.
You put that out there. That is outing what he thinks about his quarterback.
Okay.
And if you're Zach Wilson, you're like, wait a second. Like, and I understand you misinterpreted it, but let's say it was true. You're Zach Wilson, like, wait a second. This guy's had my back publicly. He talks to me face to face, and he's got my back, all this stuff, but he's texting this guy on the radio that he doesn't like me? Like, what? You can lose the lot. That is what Boomer means by outing him.
I see.
All right? Okay. That's all. So I just, and the fact that he wants to, like, Joe, I don't want this to come across as disrespect to you, so just understand that. But the fact that he wants to continue texting you about the team after this makes him look like a stone-cold moron. If he didn't learn his lesson this time around and he's still going to go back and talk to you about the team, then he shouldn't be the head coach, because that is idiotic. Because I can't even imagine the stuff that he heard yesterday from people. Like, you think we're talking about your phone blowing up? Like Boomer said, his phone probably melted into a pile of plastic yesterday with all the crap that he heard.
All right. Well, look, I mean, I guess only time will tell. All right?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, what else do you want me to say?
No, nothing. No, I mean, listen, you did.
There's nothing else I can say. Obviously, I made a mistake here, something I shouldn't have done, totally misinterpreted it. And, what can I do about it now? Not much.
All right. Well, no, what you did actually was I think what you can do about it now is what you did, which is understand that, what happened. That's all. So at least we understand that you understand now. So now we can move on with an understanding. So very good, Joe. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, guys.
All right.
See you.
All right. All the love. There he goes.